Hey guys, and welcome back to today's chatty podcast. It is your host, Michaela, and over here, standing on my laptop demanding pets, is Tigger. He gave y'all a sniff. Happy Friday. I decided to end the week just on a fun serial killer induced podcast because why not? I have been absolutely bombarded by college. I just started the summer semester and it has been absolutely insane. I am already over it and I haven't even finished all of my first assignments. He is headbutting the mic. Kitty sir, do you have anything you want to tell the people? He has some purring and headbutting and that's about it. But I am currently, after summer semester, I'll be halfway done with a master's in elementary education with a teaching certificate. Love it all up on the mic over here. Tigger is showing his appreciation for everybody who listens. But I am completely ready to be done with this degree, not gonna lie. So, for today's topic, we are going to be deep diving where the FYP is very local. And we are going to be talking about two serial killers that have connections to Killeen, Texas. One guy is extremely familiar to me. It's like I know his name, but I can't really point it. And another guy committed his murders here in Killeen itself. So, the first guy we are going to talk about is Carl Eugene Watts, who is also known as the Sunday Morning Slasher. He was born November 7th, 1953, here in Killeen, Texas. His murder spree lasted from 1974 to 1982, with at least 40 female victims. Tigger is now trying to take out the laptop. He is a fuzzy little menace. So, for his early life, his dad was a U.S. soldier on Fort Hood, obviously, and his mother was a kindergarten art teacher. The family was originally from West Virginia, but because his father was military, he, of course, ended up over here in Fort Hood. When Watts was about 2 years old, his parents did divorce, and he primarily went back to West Virginia with his mother. In the household, it had very strong single mom hating the stepdad vibes going on there. He did not have any sort of a good relationship with that man. His evil side started to come out after he contracted meningitis when he was 8 years old. He primarily remembers having extremely violent dreams of beating women, and those dreams just continued constantly. But by the time he was 12 years old, he just was infatuated with those dreams. He absolutely loved them. And instead of just violently beating women, it involved him killing and torturing. By the time Watts became a teenager, he had developed a act for stalking women. Rumor has it his first victim happened before he was the age of 15. In 1969, at 15 years old, he was a paperboy. Very common job back in that day. During his route, there was a 26-year-old woman named Joan Gave. He went up to her door, knocked on it. She answered, and he brutally assaulted her. And then he just went back on his way, continuing his route like nothing even happened. Joan did call the police afterwards, and they did pick him up at his house. And he was pretty much 5150. While he was in the psychiatric hospital, they did a psych assessment on him because literally, what the hell? And his therapist, while he was there, diagnosed him with an intellectual disability and that he was pretty much delulu. As somebody with a master's degree in psychology who has worked as a therapist of different degrees, someone who has worked in a prison and worked in the psychiatric unit there, what the fuck? Like, you have a teenager that is showing signs of something severely fucking wrong with them, and you're just like, he's just kind of stupid and delusional. You need to be fired. At that point, you need to be fired because what the fuck? The hospital ended up keeping him until his 16th birthday, which was not that long after he got put in there for the assault. Fun fact, before he was released, his therapist that diagnosed him with the disability and being delulu stated that he was passive aggressive but posed a threat to society. I want to punch this person. And this therapist literally thought that outpatient care would help him compared to being put in a psychiatric facility for a long period of time. No. If you have someone who is posing this big of a threat to society, you shouldn't have them just doing outpatient care. That's fucking stupid. So, as Watts is growing up, he continues to keep getting placed under a 5150. And while he's repeatedly getting psychiatric evaluations, they finally end up diagnosing him with antisocial personality disorder, which is a start. I'm not gonna lie, it is a start, but it's still very wrong. It's still very wrong. Watts did end up graduating high school at 19, and for some odd reason, Lane College in Tennessee gave him a football scholarship. Even with his past. Can you get off the computer? Tigger wants this to be a him episode, obviously. But obviously, he has a whole past of doing very, very horrible things to women. And he also was a big drug user. I don't get it, really. But 3 months in, he was expelled. Are we shocked? Are we truly shocked by this? He was expelled for stalking and assaulting women. Oh my god. Oh my god. The pattern continues and we had no idea. So while he was there, a female student was killed. Killed. And everyone there fully believed it was him. Fully believed that it was Watts. But they could never find enough evidence to pinpoint it to this man. After he got expelled, he did spend a year in Houston. Here in Houston, Texas. Before going back to Michigan to attend college in 1974. Which, fun fact, he continued murdering. He just continued. because why not? He's getting away with it, and he's already done some damage in Tennessee, so we're gonna head to a different state and just start fucking shit up. Watt's first confirmed murder was in 1974, and from what I've seen, he has like a special way of doing it that he follows pretty much every single time he commits murder. He kidnaps them, he tortures them, and then he kills them. He has a variety of ways that he likes to murder, but his top 4 that he commonly used was strangulation, stabbing, bludgeoning, and drowning. He commonly went after white women, aged 14 to 44. If you do not know what Watts looks like, he is a black man, and he really liked white women. Another factor that came into play of how hard it was to put him as the murderer was that there wasn't DNA evidence. He was one of those serial killers that was not into essaying his victims, so they couldn't get DNA evidence off of a rape kit, you know. But it still took 8 years to catch his ass. Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. And this wasn't like the 1970s and like 80s and whatnot, like prime real estate for serial killers. You'd think they would have like figured it out by now, you know? So while he was at that college in Michigan, he attacked another student. Yeah, I know, we are all just shocked over here listening to this. But he did not kill them. So that person went to the police, and Watts was charged with assault and battery, and then went back to a psychiatric facility after. And while he was there, he tried to hang himself. I don't know why. Maybe he just got sick and tired of being put in psychiatric facilities. But they weren't helping him, obviously, so it's ill on everyone's part, really. He ended up only serving a year for the assaults. During the time frame that he was on his murder spree, he was suspected for so many murders. So many, and questioned, but he never confessed. He kind of had, here's the thing with Watts. He had this problem of always being placed around a murder victim, but they never had evidence against him. It's just, why do you keep popping up around the same people who are getting murdered? So, like, here's where it gets insane. In 1979, some poor girl decided to have this man's baby. That's insane to me. And 2, how did he not go after her? What's going on here? And then some other dumbass decided to marry him. Why? Why? I just found a Tigger whiskey on my laptop. So good luck, right? Some good luck. So, according to his wife, he acted normal. During the time that they were dating, he was acting completely normal. And then they got married, and it all went downhill from there. It sounds pretty standard. They were only married for like 6 months, so. He was the Sunday morning slasher. Because I guess he thought the perfect time to go out on killing sprees was in the morning on God's day. Out of all days to do it. Just Sunday mornings. Right before church. From what I saw, he really liked to stab. Which there's a lot psychologically you can look into with like serial killers that do more physical murders than like the ones that just like shoot. There's a lot more going on with it. While he was in Michigan, it was around Detroit. The police kind of got into a funk where there would be murders going on in the Detroit area and he'd just get blamed for them. he would just get blamed for it because it's like, it has to be you. Like, we don't have evidence that you were near this body, but like, it had to be your ass. And he never admitted to any of that. But from what I've saw in my research is mostly they can't find the bodies. And for one body that they found, it was headless in a park, which I don't really think the headless body one could have been him. That's chopping someone's head off did not seem kind of like his MO, really. It's not really him to do that, but not being able to find bodies, yes, that is kind of more up his alley. Allegedly, since Michigan is so close to the Canadian border, he went up there and did some killings. Allegedly. They don't have evidence that it was him, but allegedly. After so long of him living in Michigan and having that problem of just being, why are you always around these dead people? But like, we don't have evidence you did it. The courts got so upset by it and put a tracking device on his vehicle. It didn't give me any information really if they got anything off of it, but they tracked him. That was the thing. In 1981, Watts relocated to Columbus, Texas, where he would travel 70 miles to Houston to create his new hunting grounds. So we're back in Texas. Yeehaw. While in Houston, he attacked several women who worked at the post office. One was even pregnant. I just want to know what comes onto you to attack every single person that works in that post office. It's like they personally did something to him. I don't get it. He killed a lot while in Houston. Primarily while in Houston, he liked drowning victims. That was his main way of murdering. So, in this one case, he attacked 2 women that lived together. He fucked one up and she played dead. And then he took the other girl and was dragging her up the stairs to fill up the bathtub and then drown her to death. Because that one girl was playing dead, she was able to jump out a window and booked it.